Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to Paul Engen Field here on the campus of Appleton North High School for tonight's Fox Valley Classic Football Conference showdown between a pair of undefeateds, the visiting Kimberly Papermakers and the host Appleton North Lightning. It's another USA Today Network live stream brought to you by yours truly, Ricardo Arguello, hanging out as always with Brett Christopherson and meeting those high-definition shots. That's Jim Rosandick down in the elements. And, Brett, we've been circling this game for I don't know how many years. Every season, Appleton North Kimberly, it's the big matchup every season. It's the one we look forward to. And this is the first time we're doing it in spring, my friend.
Hey,
Still getting used to it.
It doesn't matter if it's spring, fall, winter, summer, if it's COVID, if it's a non-pandemic year, it doesn't matter. It's always a big game when these two programs hook up. And another big game tonight because it's going to determine the playoff seedings and who's going to play who in these next 2 weeks to have that culminating event here in the Fox Valley Classic Football Conference. Both teams, Ricardo, undefeated, both ranked very high in the WisSports.net state coaches polls, both with a ton of talent. It's going to be very interesting, kind of a contrast in styles, sort of. You got this dynamic Appleton North offense. They've got a great quarterback, great running back, line, wide receivers. They're putting up points. They're racking up the yards against a Kimberly defense that's been stout, shutting down everybody that they've faced so far this season. Kimberly's got a pretty good offense, too, though, and we're going to see two of the top running backs in the state going head-to-head, not against each other, but against the respective defenses, and Cal Martini for Appleton North, Caleb Frazier for Kimberly. It's going to be a blast, and I hope we get a little treat like we did last week with that Nina Bayport game. How about a little overtime football to end the regular season here in the Fox Valley Classic Football Conference?
We would be so blessed to have something like that. But to start, we're going to give a little bit of background on both these teams. These notes put together so nicely as they are every week by Brett Christopherson. I'll start with Appleton North. Brett will finish with Kimberly. For Appleton North, Lightning ranked number 4 in the large school division in this week's WisSport.net state coaches poll. They're coming off a 35-13 win over Pulaski last Friday and a Fox Valley Classic Football Conference game at Pulaski. Quarterback Matthew Scheckelman, running back Cal Martini, highlighted a balanced and impressive offensive attack for Appleton North. Scheckelman threw for 223 yards and 2 touchdowns. Those tosses were from 9 and 40 yards out. He was 16 of 18 passing. Meanwhile, Martini rushed for 172 yards and 2 scores. He scored on runs of 54 and 3 yards, and his 172 yards came on 24 carries total. Isaiah Gonzalez finished with 8 catches for 104 yards and a score. That was a 9-yard touchdown in the third quarter. That gave the Lightning a 21-0 lead. Alex Heron, am I saying that right, correct, Brett? Do you know? Heron. Alex Heron added 4 receptions for 82 yards and a 40-yard score. Appleton North defense also scored in a touchdown. Hey, that's our guy, Wilson Zuck, 26-yard fumble return, a 14-0 second quarter lead. That's what Zuck's touchdown gave North. And overall, the Lightning finished with 420 yards, 223 through the air, and 197 on the ground. Brett, that's balance. And on the season, Scheckelman has thrown for 547 yards and 7 touchdowns while completing 72% of his passes. He has yet to throw an interception, just a junior, folks. And Martini has carried the load in the rushing department, 540 yards, 9 touchdowns on 80 attempts. That's just shy of 7 yards a carry. Heron and Gonzalez lead the way in receiving. Heron has 16 catches for 253 yards and 4 scores, while Gonzalez has 13 receptions for 184 yards and 3 touchdowns. As a team, Appleton North averaging 40.7 points a game, and they're allowing 25. That's a 3-game total. Doesn't factor in Week 3's forfeit victory over Green Bay East. Good catch there, Brett. And the Lightning are averaging 182.3 passing yards a game, and they're allowing 134. They're averaging just a shade under 200 yards rushing per game and allowing 211 rushing. Well, we don't know when their next game will be, Brett. That's all going to be hammered out tonight. In the coming 24 hours as they move into the abbreviated 2-game playoffs. Brett, for the spring season. What can you tell me about Kimberly?
Yeah, Kimberly, Ricardo, 4-0 on the season. The Papermakers are ranked number 2 in the large schools division in this week's WithSports.net State Coaches Poll. They're coming off a really nice 31-6 victory over Appleton East. That was last Friday, conference game just up the road at Papermaker Stadium in Kimberly. Running back Caleb Frazier, Northern Iowa recruit. He had another big game, finishing with 227 yards, 3 touchdowns, runs of 5, 18, and 79 yards. His 79-yarder, Ricardo, came with 42 seconds remaining in the third quarter. That extended Kimberly's lead to 24-zip. Quarterback Caden Pendleton threw for 67 yards and a touchdown on 7 of 9 passing. He hooked up with Colin Oberman on a 5-yard score in the fourth quarter that gave the Papermakers a 31-0 advantage. Overall, Kimberly finished with 372 yards, with 269 of those coming on the ground. Defensively, the Papermakers stout, as I mentioned, limiting the Patriots to just 141 yards. On the season, Pendleton has also been efficient from the quarterback spot, throwing for 279 yards and 5 TDs while completing 66% of his passes. Like his counterpart in Matthew Sheckelman, Pendleton hasn't thrown an interception either. So 2 very efficient quarterbacks going at it tonight. Frazier, he leads a strong 3-pronged rushing attack with 516 yards and 8 touchdowns on 56 carries. That's good enough for a 9.2 yards per carry average. Oberman is next with 142 yards and a score on 17 attempts. And then don't forget about Parker Kester. He's third with 125 yards and 2 touchdowns on 24 carries. We saw that, Ricardo, in Ashwaubenon a few weeks back, that you have Frazier, but, man, you got a couple of really nice backs there spelling him in Oberman and Kester. Cam Winnick paces the Papermakers receivers with 8 catches for 89 yards and 2 TDs. Owen Polakowski is next with 4 receptions for 73 yards and a score. Isaac Deckent also has 4 catches on the season for 54 yards. Defensively, Damon Loker is Kimberly's top tackler with 28 stops. He also has 3 tackles for a loss and a forced fumble. Mason Stepanski is next with 23 total tackles. As a team, Kimberly is averaging 38 points per game and allowing 6.3. The Papermakers are averaging 81.2 yards per game passing, allowing just 51.2. And they're averaging 233.5 rushing yards per game and allowing just 85.8. As Ricardo said, we're not sure what next week's schedule is going to bring, but it's going to have, at least in the A-B grouping in the conference, it's going to be Kimberly, Appleton North, and Fond du Lac for sure. We're not sure about that 4th playoff spot because it could end up in a 3-way tie between Nina, Bayport, and Stevens Point. Now, Bayport has a tough one tonight against Fond du Lac, but I believe Stevens Point is playing Preble, and Preble's down a little bit, so it could be a Spash-Nina matchup. And I'm hearing that it could be first half points in the head-to-head, which I guess would give the Nina.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the playoff spot. That's according to our friend Travis Wilson at WithSports.net. Before we get going here with the player intros, team intros, and the national anthem, Rosie, I just want to let you know the camera on the clock, the top numbers just clipped a little bit, so you're going to have to kind of push that camera other way down just to, there you go. Doing some tech. And then somebody just walks right in front of the camera there, so I think we're going to have that all night long, Ricardo, because we do have the clock camera on the bleachers, and that has a tendency to shake. So just back the other way, Rosie, just a tad up. Other way. There you go, right there. Perfect. And that's how we do our production work.
Yes.
Everybody can hear us saying it. But thanks to Nate Werner, the athletic director here at Appleton North High School. Great relationship with Nate, one of the excellent athletic directors, one of many that we get to deal with, and always making sure we're good to go, setting us up, even making sure we have rosters available. Well, at least I had 2. You had 1.
Well, I got 2 because I picked some up on the way up, Brett. Nice try, my friend.
We'll get back to the game here in a moment, but first, our national anthem.
Appleton North band with our national anthem. Brett, how good does that sound? Or how
Great.
good is it to hear that again? The sound of pep bands and kind of a return to normalcy here.
Let's hope, huh? Let's hope.
Because, Brett, well, we're only a couple months away from doing this all over again, my friend.
Yeah, well, we're almost into May. Beautiful spring evening here at Appleton North, and the clouds have kind of given way to a nice blue sky. Should be a beautiful sunset. And actually kind of warmer temperatures than I expected here tonight. I thought maybe when the sun went down it would get a little brisk, but it should be going the other way, right? We're used to it tailing off.
Yes.
It should be ramping up and getting ready for these summer months here.
I think we'll be surprised we'll be having playoffs in very agreeable weather, Brett.
Let's hope so. And it should be a real fun playoff matchup. We'll talk about this a couple of times tonight, but A-B groupings in the Fox Valley Classic Football Conferences. It's, I believe, senior night here at Paul Engen Field, but you look at the conference standings. I have them right here on the game notes. You look at Group A, which Fond du Lac is going to win that side of the conference at 4-0. Then Neenah, Bayport, and Spash all at 2-2. So a three-way tie to kind of figure out, or a three-way battle to figure out that second playoff spot here. Appleton North, Kimberly 4-0. The winner of this one is the top seed. So groups A and B play each other. Fond du Lac's already got Group A1, so they're going to take on the team that loses this game next week. Here's the question: where will that game be played? Because Fond du Lac has not played any of its home games at Fruth Field. In fact, a couple of those games have been just down the road at Kiel High School. Kiel High School has the turf field. We all know Fruth, while it's a beautiful setting, not conducive to spring football with how wet it is down there. And then Dave Mickelkavich, the athletic director at Fond du Lac, I reached out to him to kind of get a feel for where that game might be played, and he said it has to be at a turf field somewhere.
Yeah.
Now, could it be at Appleton North or Kimberly? Could they just host that game and Fond du Lac goes on the road? I know this. Stephen Jorgensen, the coach at Fond du Lac, won't give a hoot where that game's going to be played because he's going to take his team.
Yeah, they've been doing it all year.
Yeah, so if they have to come here at North, if they have to go to Kimberly, it doesn't matter. They're going to play that game. They played on the moon. I know he's very confident in his team. So it's going to be a very interesting dynamic to see how it all plays out. But let's get this one out of the way first. And this is always a great matchup. And it is, again, both teams 4-0, both ranked in the top 4 in the state. Kimberly at number 2, Fond du Lac Ricardo at number 4. And before we get going, I want to give a shout-out to both of our sponsors. First, Festival Foods. Those folks have a deep sense of community pride and responsibility, which is why they are dedicated to making a positive impact throughout Wisconsin. Festival Foods knows that getting involved in doing good is part of being a good neighbor and member of the community, and they strive to be a true asset to our communities and embody the give-back spirit of Wisconsin. And the good folks over at the Community First Fox Cities Marathon, registration now open for the 30th running of the marathon. Secure your spot to be at this year's events. They take place September 17th through the 19th. There's a safe race for every pace, but participation is limited for this year, so you want to register soon to make sure you're part of the celebration. Visit foxcitiesmarathon.org for details, and I say it every week, I can't wait to be at the finish line waiting for Ricardo to probably crawl across the finish line.
You'll be waiting a long time, my friend.
I'll give you a nice thing of water. Don't you wrap you in like foil or something too to kind of make sure your body's okay?
Yeah, to make you look like a baked potato.
I tell you what, I'll ride my bike 26.2 miles and follow you along.
I don't think you even need to ride your bike. You could walk your bike 26 miles. That's how the speed I'll be going, my friend. Getting ready for tonight's big game. Again, Paul Engen Field. Home turf of Appleton North. They in the blue with the white helmets, and Kimberly in their visiting white uniforms. Red trim. K on the side.
Briar Barglin for the Papermakers. Also Caleb Frazier back to receive the opening kickoff. Kimberly going to get to take the field first. And another clash of the Titans here. Two longtime Fox Valley Association rivals. We'll talk about the season series. The ball's got to get replaced on the tee. A little bit of a breeze down there on the field. Coming out of the south. Nice crowd here on
Pretty
hand
good
tonight,
sized
too.
crowd, yeah.
Nice to see the crowds are getting bigger, and hopefully by fall we are ready to go, as this one is crushed into the end zone. And touchback coming for the Papermakers. Ricardo, 1st and 10 on the 20.
Yeah, the kicker, Fantrell, very good, 5'11" senior.
Always good to have a nice leg, right, in the kicking department. You never know.
It's a luxury. A lot of teams really don't have that sort of, skilled kicker.
It's a weapon.
It is.
Especially in a close game like we think this one will be. So 1st and 10 coming up for the Papermakers. Caden Pendleton back taking the snaps. He'll share some snaps from time to time as well. So a little bit of a different facet to this Kimberly offense as well, as Pendleton hands off to Frazier. Nothing doing there. Maybe a yard. Seth Myron, a sophomore. We also saw Zach Kreider, a senior. So see how this game goes. Some of those kids have been getting some playing time and some snaps, some of the younger kids, because of Kimberly, I guess you could say, breezing through its schedule so far.
Gain of 1 yard for Frazier. 2nd down and 9 at the 21 for Pendleton.
Ooh, nice hands. Look at that catch. In traffic, too. Junior showing great concentration. Thought the coverage was actually pretty good there, but
back throw, and you're thrown to a spot, and your receiver should be there. And we've heard this Owen Palakowski, Brett.
Did some good things on the hardwood, didn't he?
He did. Frazier off the left side, breaking to just near midfield, just shy of midfield, 4-yard gain.
And we apologize, folks, for getting that anti-lag message. We are working on kind of a wireless signal tonight, so it might buffer from time to time. Just stick with us. Second down coming for the Papermakers. Pendleton, a little pass, right, Ricardo? We'll call that pass to Colin Oberman. All right, back online, folks. We apologize. Again, having some, seems to be this spot, this
Two-yard gain for Kimberly. 2nd down and 8 from the 39 of Appleton North.
Oh, and it's caught.
Ball will be placed at the 17-yard line for Kimberly. 3rd first down for the Papermakers. Frazier right up the middle. Ball will be placed right at the 15, so a 2-yard gain for Frazier. 4 carries, 9 yards for Frazier thus far. Again, both teams coming into today's game undefeated. As we have a timeout.
Officials timeout.
Sebastian Hayes coming off the field. He might be bleeding a little bit. Coming in to replace him is Matthew Reichel. Play resumes, 2nd down and 8 from the 15 for Kimberly. Good start to the game for the Kimberly offense. Frazier.
Ooh, nice little cut, little jump stop kind of out to the outside, but a good job by that North defense ganging up on him and bringing him down. So big 3rd down coming up after that stop. Is there another player?
Got to be 4 down territory, don't you think?
Absolutely. A toss to Frazier, looking to get around that edge.
And he did.
Wrestled down.
Flag. Got some laundry, Brett. That holding call makes it 3rd and 9 for Kimberly. And he races a first down run by Frazier.
Yeah, ball moves, back to the 16-yard line?
It does.
Pendleton looking, going, yep. Felt some pressure there, Ricardo. That was It's originating here from the press box, so we're just going to grind through it. We will have a better copy at the end of the game. There's a kick. It is up, and it is through. Nice kick.
That's all right. So, with 7:26 left in the first quarter.
I have to create a new file then, right? I had to create brand new files. Keeps going in and out, but it doesn't stay out long.
So Zabel to kick off for Kimberly. Bounces right shy of the 15-yard line. Offense.
Ooh, that was throw intended for Martini. That looked like maybe a screen.
Third down and 5 for Appleton North.
Third and 5 play. See what Schuckman has. He's got time going downfield. One-on-one here as well. And almost. Are there going to be a flag?
No flag. Heron will punt for Appleton North. Ball is at the 34-yard line. Left-footed Heron. Nice punt. That's going to take Weigel back to the 25. And he's going to be tripped up. Nice special teams play. Trying to grab down and 10 for Kimberly.
Even though the upload speed was well over 200 when we got here, but then there's people plugging in stuff. And
Pendleton. That quick pass again. Oberman. Middleton unofficially here 4 for 4 on his passes, though many of them have been of the short variety. So second down and 3 for Kimberly. Pendleton, also a junior quarterback. And that gives the up the middle to Frazier. He'll take it just shy of the 35. And is it good enough for a first? It's close. And they're calling it a first down. Frazier.
No, nothing. Coming here on Wednesday, everything looked great.
So first down and 10 at the 34 for Kimberly. Pendleton going to give to Frazier again up the middle. Again, that Appleton North defense doesn't really give too much of a lane for Frazier to go through, but he powers his way to about the 37-yard line and a gain of 3 yards. Frazier, 7 carries, 19 yards. Second down, or if I should say for Kimberly, Appleton North's defense. A little bit of a death by 1,000 cuts here for Kimberly. Grinding out the first downs are the Papermakers. Second down and 7, Pendleton. 2 receivers set. Frazier in the backfield behind him. There's Frazier again. Pops it off to the left side, breaks a tackle. Finding some room as Frazier finally brought down inside Appleton North territory. Man and a completion. That was all line, so a gain of 29 yards on that pass play. So that combination of Pendleton and Polakowski strikes again. Gain of 29 yards. They connected before on a 24-yard pass on the second play of the game. So first down and 10 at the 14 for Kimberly. Just over 4 minutes left here in the first quarter. We have a flag. And it appears to be on Kimberly. And it's a false start. So they'll bring up a first down and 15 from the 19 for Kimberly. Really the only misstep that Kimberly offense has had today. Again here at Paul Engen Field. Both teams undefeated. Kimberly 4-0. Appleton North 4-0. Here's Pendleton. First down and 15. Just inside the 20. Okay. Give us to Frazier off the left side. And look at that play defensively. Sebastian Hayes for Appleton North knifing in and making that tackle. Pendleton back to throw to the end zone, and that's a touchdown. Cam Wennick, junior receiver. With 3:13 left in the first, connecting with Wennick. 19-yard touchdown. Zabel's extra point is up, and it is good. 10-0 Kimberly, and they have dominated the first quarter. Appleton North has ran 3 plays, and Kimberly has had 2 long drives, one that started at the 20 and ended with a 33-yard field goal by Zabel, another that started at their own 24 and ended with that 19-yard touchdown from Pendleton to Wennick. Again, 10-0 is the lead for Kimberly. On your Community First Fox 8's Marathon scoreboard, along with Festival Foods scoreboard. Appleton North looking to get things going on the offensive end. I think Kimberly has found its rhythm on offense, pounding away with that short run game. Though they did pop off a nice run from Caleb Frazier that went for 20-plus yards. And that offensive line has been blocking well. Their only really missteps was that 5-yard false start and a run for no gain by Frazier. But other than that, they've been steadily marching down the field. Zabel will be kicking off for Kimberly, and that's going to be out of bounds. So Appleton North should get it with a little better field position. We'll see what Sheckelman and company can do for Appleton North. A very potent offense. They're very explosive looking to get things going and maybe help out their defense a little bit. Ball will be placed at the 35. With 3:13 left here in the first quarter. Sheckelman will have two receivers near side. Martini in the back. And the give is to Martini off the left side. Martini falls forward, gets near the 40. The ball will be 9 yards for Martini early on.
4-yard gain on the play, second down and 6.
Yeah, right now it's saying it's too slow for quality again. Now it's back to perfect.
For Appleton North. Again, another 3 receiver set for the Lightning. And we have penalty.
Yeah, no, everybody's sitting down.
And it is a false start on Appleton North. Running room right up the middle and takes it all the way inside Kimberly. Middle of the field for Sheckelman, 27-yard gain, excuse me. And a first down as that give is to Martini. Breaking tackles. Excuse me, not Martini. That is number 16 for Appleton North, Charlie Hardy. Ball's going to be placed at the 36, so a 3-yard gain for Hardy. Second down and 7 for Appleton North. Sheckelman gets the troops right back to the line of scrimmage. Give this time to Martini up the middle. Look at him getting hit in the backfield, but able to fall forward and get some positive yardage. He takes it to about the 33. Third down and a long 4. No, we'll call it third down and 4. 3-yard gain for Martini as Sheckelman looks to the sidelines for the play call. Sheckelman. There's Martini. He's really close to the first down. Maybe a yard short, though. Ball will be placed at the 30. Four carries, 15 yards for Martini early on. One of the leading running backs are in terms of yardage in the conference. Fourth and short, and Appleton North's going to go for it. Sheckelman under center. It's a pitch to Martini, and that was diagnosed by the Kimberly defense and shut down. That's number 47 for Kimberly. Mason Stepnoski, junior linebacker. Stepanski, excuse me. Martini lost a few yards on that play. And the ball goes over to Kimberly. First down and 10. Ball will be placed at the 33 with 20.4 seconds left. So first down and 10 for Pendleton. Let's see if Kimberly's offense can take advantage of the turnover on downs, as that is Frazier picking his way for a first down. 13-yard gain for Frazier. Frazier has 10 carries now for 52 yards unofficially. It looks like that's where we will end this first quarter, with a 10-0 lead for Kimberly.
Yes,
on your Community First Fox Days Marathon scoreboard, along with Festival Foods. 10-0 lead for Kimberly as we head into the second quarter. I'll update these scores as we go into the second quarter. Papermakers scoring on a 19-yard touchdown from Pendleton to Wennick and on a 33-yard field goal from Zabel. And I'm Ricardo Arguello, part of the USA Today Network, Wisconsin digital live stream team. Hanging out with Brett Christopherson and Jim Rosandick. That was a fast-moving first quarter. As we head into the second quarter, that's Frazier off the left side. On a first down play, takes it past the midfield marker. Be a gain of 5 yards. Second down and 5 for Kimberly.
Gotcha. Yep, I'll do that.
11 carries, 57 yards for Frazier. 2 receivers set here for Pendleton.
Okay.
Here's Pendleton going deep again. And he did hit Wennick's hands. I'm sorry, Polakowski. Polakowski not able to pull that in. Incompletion. Third down and 5 for Kimberly.
Well, right. No, this is just puzzling, but
Actually, we'll call it third down and 6 for Kimberly. Pendleton, 6'5", junior quarterback.
well, maybe if they redo the parking lot, because that's been all beat up, and that'd be kind of that's the time to do it if you rip up the parking
But a big situation here for Appleton North's defense that they can stop this Kimberly offense, which has scored on both of its early possessions here. Pendleton back to throw. Quick out here to Frazier, but nice tackle for Appleton North. Again, that's Hayes, senior linebacker, diagnosing that play and snuffing it out. Loss of 1 yard. And that'll force a punt situation. So a big win for Appleton North's defense. Pendleton just looking to drop it off there to Frazier. But again, a nice open field tackle by Hayes. So that's the second big play we've seen from the senior.
Panic text for you too,
Kimberly, Quinton Wynn, the offensive lineman, will be kicking for, or doing the punting for the Papermakers.
Okay, will do.
Sends it into the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. But Quinton Wynn, 6'3", 300-pound punter. I'm going to guess he's the biggest punter in the conference.
Bye-bye.
So first and down and 10. Ball will be placed at the 20 for Appleton North. We're just into the second quarter, 10:30 left in the half. Appleton North got things going a little bit for that in our last offensive series, but turning the ball over on downs on a fourth down situation. We'll see if Scheckelman can get things going again. Welcome back, Brett Christopherson.
My apologies, Ricardo, for the exit there, but we're trying to get things squared away with this signal, and I appreciate everybody working feverishly from the Appleton IT staff, the school district IT staff, Brian Durkee, Adam Hansen, the fantastic guys, and they're trying to push all the right buttons and pull plugs and do this and do that to make sure that we're good to go. So let's hope we have a relatively clean stream the rest of the way, Ricardo.
Yeah, it's always tough, when you're dealing with technology, Brett, and especially with wireless.
Well, yeah, we are plugged in, but it's a point-to-point from the school out to the press box, and typically it works pretty well, but this season it's been a little bouncy. So I told the IT folks that I think I just created as Martini gets wrapped up and wrestled down, big third down coming up for North, but I think I created a project for them. But
1 yard gain for Martini, but go on, Brett.
Those guys have been super.
Oh, and I'm sure they're a little perturbed that this is happening as well, Brett.
Well, we just appreciate their support. I mean, they've been always good, whether we're at North, whether we're doing a basketball stream at West or East. They always are working hard to make sure that we have everything in place. So I can't thank those guys enough. Here's a big third down coming up for Appleton North. That was red all the way. Martini was wrestled down right away. That's Xander Zima, Ricardo, the senior defensive back, and fourth down coming up. And kind of what we talked about here in the open, this Kimberly defense going against a high-powered offense, and right now the Kimberly defense winning the battle.
One thing I've noticed that Appleton North is they're not attacking, Brett. They're kind of a little leery of the penetration maybe by the Kimberly defense. They're going sideline to sideline and not attacking downfield. And they're giving the ball right back over to Kimberly. Brett, Kimberly will have good field position to start.
Yeah, absolutely.
This next possession.
You see Jackson Wilds back to receive this punt. And that Kimberly offense really looking good, mixing things up here in the early stages. Pendleton looks like he's been on target. And, of course, that rushing attack with Caleb Frazier leading the way. You look at the score so far, we have a 33-yard field goal by the Papermakers by Cam Zeeble, and then a 19-yard hookup Caden Pendleton to Cam Winnick. That came at 3:13 to play in the first quarter, and that's where we're at, 10-0. Papermakers on top as we look at our festival foods and Community First Fox Cities Marathon scoreboard. Thanks to everybody checking us out live tonight online. Beautiful night for football.
20-yard punt that'll go down as for Appleton North, Brett. That gives Kimberly first down and 10 at the 44. That one went out of bounds.
Yeah, on the Appleton North 44. The last thing you want to do if you're North is give this rushing attack, passing attack, this kind of a short field. And let's see what Pendleton and now that rushing attack, a big push by the offensive line. Ricardo, that's number 21. That's Parker Kester. Talked about that three-pronged rushing attack. Kester, Frazier, Oberman, another really good running back for Steve Jones and the Papermakers. You look at the series, Kimberly leads 17-10. Kimberly's won 9 straight in this series. Last time these two teams played, hard to believe, November 8th, 2019. That's how long it's been. That was a WIA Division I state quarterfinal at Papermaker Stadium. Nothing doing there for Kester. Kimberly beat Appleton North that night. Ricardo 35-6. Caleb Frazier rushed for 3 touchdowns. While Alec Martzel, remember him?
Oh, I remember him quite well.
Played some quarterback too.
Yeah.
He finished with 164 yards rushing and a touchdown. Kimberly, of course, then went on to fall to Bayport 42-28 in the state semifinals. Papermakers finishing 12-1 that season. North finishing 8-4 that year. That's the last time they played. It's been a long time. Too long.
Second down and 8 for Kimberly now. Frazier in the backfield. He'll take it up the middle.
Ooh. Winner of this game, both teams 4-0. Winner of this one gets the top seed. Will take on the second seed in the Group A. Could be Neenah, could be Spash, maybe even Bayport.
Third down and short for Kimberly. Third down and 2. We'll call it the 26 of Appleton North.
Fun league, though, and I saw our colleague, Jarrell Russian, down at, he covers the Oshkosh and Fond du Lac areas for USA Today Network Wisconsin, wrote a piece, we talked to Steve Jones and one of the coaches, kind of the feel, and everybody's really liking how this league has been played and is set up. Some different teams for the most part. This Frazier, little jump stop, I think he pushed his way past the first down marker. But it has been fun watching some of these different matchups, and but let's just make it a one-time thing.
Yes,
right?
No, we don't want this to continue.
But you're looking at Appleton North this year. They've beaten Appleton East 49-31, then that Ashwaubenon 38-31, and then Pulaski last week, a big win over the Red Raiders. They're up at Pulaski. That was 35-13. Also the forfeit victory over Green Bay East because East couldn't play with low numbers. Then Kimberly, Sheboygan South, Pulaski, Ashwaubenon, and then Appleton East. So some of those teams not typically on the schedules. As Pendleton looking for his receiver. He's got it. 23-yard score. That's Polakowski.
Pendleton has been pretty much on point throughout most of this game, Brett. I think he only has one incompletion. That's a 23-yard toss, scoring toss to Polakowski.
The best Pendleton has looked since we've seen him at quarterback. Wouldn't you agree?
I would agree.
He looks outstanding. He has pinpoint accuracy and in finding, doing the right reads. And how about a catch by Owen Polakowski? Gets a step, and it's into the end zone, and a commanding Kimberly lead. If Zeeble gets it to go through, he does. 17-0. Papermakers with the lead as we look at our Festival Foods and Community First Fox Cities Marathon scoreboard. In the fact that it's a 17-0 game, I'm thinking this is going to be a tight battle. Still plenty of time for Appleton North, but Kimberly clicking on all cylinders right now. Ricardo offense doing it on the ground and through the air, and defensively living up to kind of that billing. And that was a strength, I think you would agree, and I know Steve Jones has talked about it too, that they knew that defense was going to be pretty tough coming into the game. It was just kind of how this offense was going to piece together. And so far so good here this season, and certainly tonight. Hey folks, so we've got a great deal right now on a digital subscription to the Post Crescent. Listen up, for the next 6 months you get all the benefits included with a digital subscription for just $1. 6 months, $1. Come on folks, subscribe. Would you please help play a role in supporting local journalism that you and your community can trust. Learn more details and sign up for that digital subscription at postcrescent.com/subscribe. Again, 6 months, $1. You can't go wrong. Do it right now, please. We appreciate your support, which goes a long way in helping us produce these live streams. Come on, Ricardo, you have to beg with me.
I agree. You can't beat that deal.
That was Preston Van Offeren on the return.
Ball be placed at the 33, so let's see if Sheckelman and company can get things going.
Well, it's time, isn't it?
I think they should be attacking, and I know that Kimberly's defense is stout and that provides pressure, but it's time for Appleton North to look like Appleton North.
Well, it's time, as I said, down 3 scores, but still plenty of time because this offense, we've seen it. They can get some home run plays here in a hurry. So, but it starts with this play in this series. Let's see what Sheckelman has. He's got Cal Martini waiting behind him, and that is a handoff to Martini. And they're just getting in the backfield here. And there might have been
fumble, and Kimberly is saying
Kimberly's
it's their
saying
ball.
they have it. Let's see what the official says. I think they're calling it second down.
They are calling it second down. Ball's at the 36. 3-yard gain for Martini.
If anybody out there has some of those scores, Stevens Point score, Bayport score, Nina score, text them. Tweet them.
Tweet them.
Not text, at PC Bretzi or at PC Ricardo. We can let everybody know what's going on. Oh, big hit. But a nice catch and good concentration by number 14.
Brett, that was a beautiful pass from Sheckelman. He got that right in the zone and threaded that ball right in there.
Yeah, Van Offeren, great hands on that. He was open, but he took a pretty good shot by Tommy Ellison, number 20 for the Papermakers. But credit Van Offeren for holding on. And look at this quickly to the line of scrimmage. Lightning now, like you say, playing with a little bit of urgency and getting to the line and snapping the ball quickly.
Gain of 5 yards for Martini. But yeah, Brett, that's what I was talking about. Attack the perimeter. I know Kimberly has good defensive backs, but you got to attack them.
And a little bit of that muddle huddle too, so they're not huddling up a traditional sense, but Sheckelman looking over to the line of scrimmage, getting the play call in and already set and ready to go. Sheckelman going to fire, and there is a nice pitch and catch to number 13 along the near sideline, Isaiah Gonzalez, the senior wideout for the Lightning. And now Ricardo, Appleton North on the move.
Sanderfield with a nice tackle, or that might have gone a little farther. Ball placed at the 31, so a gain of 12 yards.
I like the up-tempo. I like the change up here, change of pace. And Sheckelman now in this offense in the rhythm is Martini. Big hole.
Oh, boy.
Gut, and I think he's into the end zone. How about that? 31 yards. Big hole right up the middle, Ricardo. Martini doesn't need much. He's big and strong, but he's got some speed too, and he was not going to get caught. Touchdown for the Lightning.
There you see the passing game setting up the run game a little bit, Brett, because when you have your receivers and so much attention's paid, that secondary has to keep back a little bit and look to defend the pass, and that allowed Martini to just lumber right through that middle.
Austin Williamson on for the PAT. Try to make this a 10-point game. The operation looks good, snap good, hold good, and kick sails through.
I believe that's Frantel, Brett.
Oh, I'm sorry. With 4:20 remaining, Kimberly now up 17-7, so that lead whittled down a little bit in a quick drive for the Lightning.
And there's Martini. I know his dad quite well, Tom Martini. I used to work out with him a few years back. Good guy. Gonna update my Twitter. Follow me at PC Ricardo. Brett at PC Brettsy, Rosie at Metal Rosie.
I mentioned Kimberly has won the last 9 meetings in the series, but Appleton North won 4 straight before the Papermakers' current streak, and we've talked about this before. It's been a streaky series. Appleton North won the first 2, then Kimberly peeled off 5 straight, then Appleton North won 4 in a row before Kimberly won 3 straight. Then it was Appleton North's turn again with 4 consecutive victories to set up Kimberly's current 9-game winning streak. The series kicked off back in 1995 when Appleton North opened up. I was just thinking about that today. 25 years ago already Appleton North's been around?
Yeah.
I just moved out to the Fox Valley when the school opened up. So back and forth, Appleton North now cutting into that Kimberly lead and wanting to snap that 9-game losing streak to the Papermakers. Now we'll see how Kimberly answers. And I thought, Ricardo, this one is going to be a touchback into the end zone. Nope, they're going to run it back. I thought he was in the end zone, didn't you?
Oh, ball's going to be placed at the 20 either way.
But I loved the changeup, the quick tempo, and then that got Scheckelman in this offense in a rhythm and doing a good job like we've seen with Kimberly, mixing it up. Now Scheckelman got hot in that passing game. Those receivers are so good. Sets everything up for that battering ram of Cal Martini, 31-yard score for the talented junior running back. Hard to believe that a lot of these key guys are going to be back for Rob Somm. He's got to be looking already forward to the 2021 fall season.
Absolutely. Pendleton. First down and 10 from his own 20 as North's defense bottles up. Is that Kester?
That was Frazier.
That was Frazier, okay.
52, Ben Isom, sophomore, to bring down Frazier. So 1-yard gain. They're also going to give Caleb Monroe, the junior defensive lineman, the tackle as well. So Isom and Monroe doing a good job bottling up Frazier, setting up a 2nd and 9 from the 21-yard line.
See if North defense can capitalize on that momentum the offense has provided. And there's Frazier.
Now that North defense, nowhere for Frazier to go. So 3rd and long, exactly what Appleton North wants. And what a victory that would be for North to get off the field after that score. I mean, maybe force a 3 and out. I think we'll see a little blitz here, a little pressure on Pendleton.
I think you have to, but you know what? He has been hurting North's defense on the perimeter with those passes, though, Brett. So you got to proceed with caution here if I was Appleton North. Defensive backs.
Watch out.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice job by Pendleton. How did he see Frazier, who's running down the near sideline? Cuts it back inside the 20. He might take it in. Out of bounds. He fumbled it. And Kimberly falls on it. That's a touchdown, Ricardo, for number 4.
Well, that's not the way you draw it up, Brett, but my goodness.
Wow. How do you score that? Winnick just falls on the fumble, I guess,
yeah,
right?
and how When did that fumble happen, Britt? Did you happen to see that?
I think it was about inside the 5 maybe, or
Okay.
roughly around there. I thought he got pushed out of bounds near the 5-yard line. Ball squirts out. Winnick, Johnny on the spot, falls on it in the end zone, and it's a touchdown. Zeeble nails it, and wow, what a turn of events, because Ricardo Pendleton was pressured big time on that. Finds Frazier, gets rid of it just in the nick of time, and then Frazier doing his thing, showing that sprinter speed. Makes a couple moves, turns on the Jets here in the near sideline. Ball comes out of his hands at the 5, and then Winnick, credit Winnick for hustling down there and making a big play.
Yeah, that was a 72-yard pass play, Brett. Then the fumble into the end zone, and Winnick able to recover that fumble.
Thanks to Katie Peterhands. Nina up 21-zip. The Rockets looking pretty good tonight. What a crazy sequence that was. What did you say that was, a
72-yard pass play
to Frazier? And with 2:30 remaining, as we look at our Festival Foods and Community First Fox Cities Marathon scoreboard, 24-7. What a change. I thought Pendleton was going to get drilled. I didn't see who was in his face, but credit to quarterback. He got it out, found his running back in the flat, and then he let your running back make a play. But then again, the speed of Cam Winnick to follow the play all the way down the field, not giving up on the play, not assuming anything. Sees the loose ball in the end zone, dives on it, and it's a score. That's going to be taken from the 2-yard line for Appleton North. I believe that's Preston Van Offeren on the return.
I mean, to start that play, first off, I thought Pendleton did a good job of avoiding the pressure and getting the ball out to Frazier anyway. Then Frazier showing a lot of speed, a little bit of a cutback ability, Brett, to weave his way through, you know, some traffic down there. And that was actually good blocking by one of his receivers to give him that kind of boost. But then, obviously, the fumble he wants back, but not when it falls in the hands of your teammate, Winnick.
That might have been Winnick with the block, and then allowed Frazier to cut back inside and then kind of veer back to the sideline as Martini with the carry and wrestled down here in the waning moments of this first half. Fun game here at Paul Engen Field. But, again, that's what you like to see, those receivers, number one, blocking, you know, trying to spring the play forward even more, but then being aware and not giving up and staying with it. That could have been a big play for that North defense, and said Kimberly at the right place at the right time, falling on that loose ball. Shuckman all day long. The throw is going to go deep downfield. It's underthrown.
Double covered, and it's picked off.
Interception, yeah. First of the year. Tommy Ellison played that perfectly. Now he's back on his feet, weaving his way down inside the 40 to about the 35-yard line. Ellison turned late on that. Double coverage. You said that, Ricardo. But great awareness to know that the football was coming his way. Doesn't have the benefit of being on the far sideline with the Kimberly bench saying, hey, turn around. It's going to be a little bit underthrown. Great job by Ellison to play the ball. First interception of the season for Sheckelman, and Kimberly now in business. Ball at the 35-yard line. All 3 timeouts remaining, Ricardo. Just a minute 42 to go in the second quarter.
We'll see if Pendleton can parlay this turnover into some points, leading 24-7.
Frazier, oh, big hole. Going to stiff arm his way and stays in bounds, I believe. Frazier kind of squeezing that ball a little bit tighter, I think, on that run this time, and the ball on the left, left hand as well.
Speaking of turnovers, Brett, that's Sheckelman's first INT, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, first of the season. Both quarterbacks came into the game, Sheckelman and Pendleton, yet to have thrown an interception. Second down, ball at the 29-yard line. 4 yards to go for the Papermakers. And in no big hurry. Low snap, Pendleton. Got time. Oh, downfield, wide open, and that's a touchdown. Wow, 29 yards. Cam Winnick.
That was a nice route by Winnick, Brett, on that post. And good patience from Pendleton to wait for that route to complete its progression.
24 yards you have?
29.
29, I'm sorry.
So Pendleton with another touchdown, and the turnovers, or that turnover hurting Appleton North.
Beautiful throw, too. And You see Pendleton, Ricardo reading everything in his time. Is that line's giving him a lot of time, plenty of time to just kind of camp, watch for that route to develop, steps into that throw, and you said beautiful route. Right into the middle of the end zone, a more traditional touchdown this time for Winnick as Zeeble bangs it through. And look at this, 31-7. Kimberly with the lead, 58.3 seconds to go here in the second quarter as we look at our Festival Foods and Community First Fox Cities Marathon scoreboard.
Trying to update my Twitter. You can follow me at PC Ricardo, Brett at PC Brettsy, Rosie at Metal Rosie.
Ricardo was just a couple minutes ago, 4 minutes ago, was 17-7 after that 31-yard touchdown run by Cal Martini, and then that 72-yard pass to Frazier. He fumbles it about the 5-yard line, and Cam Winnick falls on it into the end zone. Interception then on the ensuing drive. Tommy Ellison with the pick. And then 2 or 3 plays later, or the 29?
2 plays later.
2 plays later, 29-yard pass from Pendleton to Winnick. And just when you thought Appleton North had momentum, forcing that third down situation, 3rd and long for the Papermakers when it was 17-7. As I mentioned, that 72-yarder to Frazier, and then touchdown off the fumble, and then the pick and the touchdown. And just like that, it's a 24-point lead.
Well, I think that big pass play to Frazier really deflated Appleton North, Brett, because they were feeling so good after Martini's run, pulled them to within, 2 scores or two possessions. So then to have that kind of – and then to have that fortuitous fumble bounce right to Winnick, Brett, that's got to hurt even more. But North does get the ball back to start the second half.
Well, let's see what Rob Salmon and the crew want to do here in the late stages of this one. That's number 42 on the return. That's looks like Trent Mullen, I think. He's on his feet. Good little run, and 51.2 seconds to play. You got a little time. All 3 timeouts remaining. Ball's going to be at the 35-yard line.
51 seconds left? Is that what it is?
51.2. Yeah,
okay.
The camera a little bit off again on the scoreboard. I think we have it set up in the bleachers, so with all the shaking going on, just a smidge off, cut off on the top there, Rosie. We'll see what Shuckelman can do here on this Cal Martini handoff. And Martini, look at this, near midfield, and I would imagine that Appleton North wants to burn a timeout. Nope, they want to get to the line pretty fast. Well, they have to stop the clock and reset the chains. And
11 carries, 70 yards for Martini. Of course, a big 31-yard touchdown run, the highlight for Appleton North's offense.
So actually, Ricardo, Kimberly burning a timeout. Yeah, Rosie, if you want to move that clock camera just maybe up just a tad. Or up, I'm sorry, the other way. Right about there is good. Nope, now you're going to have to go down again. We'll have let Rosie come upstairs and recrop the clock, but that's pretty good for now. 46.3 seconds to play here in the second quarter. Ball at the 48-yard line. Now some wiggle room. Oh, you're going to have to go back the other way, Rosie, a little bit too low. There you go. Perfect.
Nice, you guys get in sync there, Brett. Love it.
That's how we operate.
1st and 10 from the 48, Appleton North. 46.3 seconds left. Getting that timeout by Kimberly. North has, all 3 of theirs?
Yeah.
So they got some time to work with here.
See what Shuckelman wants to do. Is he going to look to the sideline as the coaching staff kind of gets a read on that Kimberly defense? Shuckelman, blitz coming for the Papermakers, picked up, and Ellison with, are they going to give him the pick? They do. Boy, did he read that. He jumped the route big time, and great hands along the sideline here, keeping a foot in bounds. And the second interception of the game for Shuckelman, second straight drive ending with a pick.
Well, I think Shuckelman might have stared down that receiver just a bit too much, Brett. Ellison just read the quarterback there.
Now Kimberly, Steve, we've seen Steve Jones in these situations before. He doesn't ease up on the gas, so he's going to take a couple shots here with 40.3 seconds to go, 2 timeouts. But how about Ellison, back-to-back drives, picks to give the offense another crack at it. Good hands, coming in right at the last second. Going to hand off to Frazier. Going to back his way close to the 45-yard line, and it looks like Kimberly wants to burn a second time out here. Hey, I know we said this the last time we streamed the Kimberly Papermakers a few weeks ago at Schwabbaum, but congratulations again to Lucky Wirtz, I guess the now former boys basketball coach. 13 fantastic seasons. Lucky's retiring not only as a teacher in the Kimberly School District, but also hanging up the whistle. And what a run he had.
He did, taking him to
Kimberly.
the state final. They lost a tough one against Wauwatosa East, but really had a fine team led by our player of the year, our athlete of the year in the Post Crescent area, Jackson Paweletsky. Fine team, and he's really done a good job. I forgot how many division or conference titles he had. I think it was 4 or 5.
Yeah, he had championships, 231 wins for the Papermakers on the boys basketball
and
side.
I've known Lucky Wirtz for a long time.
Pre-Kimberly.
He coached at Laconia. And you know what the funny thing is, when he texted me that he was hanging him up, he says, "I'm joining Spencer now." Spencer Ralph, the old Amro coach, who they beat Wirtz's Laconia Spartans back in '97 in the Division III championship game. I always know he had a big appreciation for Coach Spencer Ralph. But yeah, he's a great guy. I can't say enough good things about Lucky Wirtz. Really going to miss him.
It'll be interesting to see how that job search goes. We were talking about that again a few weeks ago. That's a premier job. Pendleton going deep downfield. Little miscommunication between him and Winnick. Big shoes to fill, whoever takes that spot, whoever gets that gig with the Kimberly boys basketball program. Feels like basketball should be starting here any minute.
It does, doesn't it?
It's football here, and we're getting close to playoff time.
Brett, our clocks are thrown way off.
Oh. 3rd down and 3, ball at the 44-yard line for the Papermakers. Pendleton, little
wrong
miscommunication.
way.
Pendleton going to tuck it in, and he's got the first down. And clock stops to reset the chains, and you wonder at this situation if Kimberly's going to burn its final timeout of the half. But good decision by Pendleton. He running back went the opposite way he was expecting. He tucks it in, lowers his head, lowers his shoulder, and gets a first down. So ball at the 49-yard line with 21.9 seconds to play. Hey, Zeebel's got a big leg.
He does.
And Pendleton's got a big arm. So you get these.
They got big rangy receivers and
get him in field goal range and put another 3 spot on the scoreboard. I think Steve Jones would be very happy adding a few more points to the scoreboard. Again, folks, that subscription deal to the Post Crescent, 6 months, $1. Unlimited digital access. That is a fantastic deal. We've seen our subscription rate really numbers really climb. It's been fun to see, and I have a feeling that you stick with us for 6 months, you're going to stick with us for a lot longer than that. So again, please support local journalism. postcrescent.com/subscribe.
So let's see what Kimberly has in store for the Lightning defense here. Well, they have 4 receivers set, Brett.
There's some one-on-one opportunities here as well.
Wow, and Lightnings have 7 in the box trying to get to Pendleton. That's right over the middle.
Look at this. Look at this. Cutting it back. He's going to score. 49 yards out. That's Polakowski.
Brett, I mentioned that the Lightning had 7 in the box. That was leaving each one of their defensive backs one-on-one.
Well, that's why I said before the snap, I said, Ricardo, a lot of one-on-one opportunities out there. Wow.
So Polakowski having himself a game. So was Pendleton.
Yeah, I'll have to run down some of that first half scoring. It's going to take me a little bit of time, but incredible. That's what, the 4th touchdown pass of the game for Pendleton. 2 to Winnick, 19 yards and 29 yards. He's also got 2 now to Polakowski, 23-yarder, and as we just saw there, a 49-yard score. Is that what you have it down for, 49 yards?
49 yards.
Zeeble also with a 33-yard field goal.
Let me see if I can count up the Kimberly passing yardage
And then
for Pendleton.
Winnick has 3 touchdowns on the night. Don't forget, he falling on the loose ball, the fumble in the end zone.
That's true.
That whole sequence, that 72-yard connection between Pendleton and Frazier right after Martini's touchdown run made it 17-7. That was the turning point, wasn't it? Because
I thought so, because that was that long pass play, and then the fumble recovery really kind of deflated North.
3rd and long, too, and they had heavy pressure on Pendleton. He was able to get it out quickly to Frazier, who took it all the way downfield. Looked like he was pushed out of bounds at the 5, but before that, the ball squirted loose into the end zone, and Winnick was there for the touchdown, and just like that. Went from 17-7 to 24-7. Then back-to-back picks have led to scores. Tommy Ellison with 2 interceptions, and Kimberly has parlayed that into 14 points.
Trying to add up these stats here quick. For Pendleton.
A little surprised here?
Well, in the first quarter, he was 6 for 7 for 111 yards.
But surprised at the scoreboard right now?
A little bit, yeah, absolutely. And I think Appleton North was kind of taken out of their game right away, which is, controlling the ball with Martini and then hitting on those long plays. And Martini with a nice run here, 9 yards. But, he's been essentially nullified because of the score now, Brett, going into the second half. And he's had a nice game thus far. 12 carries, 79 yards for Martini.
I'll tell you what, Ricardo, it's halftime here at Paul Engen Field, and a quick look at our festival foods and Community First Fox Cities Marathon scoreboard shows the Papermakers in command, leading the Lightning 38-7. And there's a guy going right into our shot. Hey, that's okay. We'll talk more about tonight's game and what we have coming up digitally at USA Today Network Wisconsin after this short break.
If you've been looking forward to the sounds of fans cheering and the excitement of an event that brings the community together, then secure your place to be with us by registering to join the 30th running of the Community First Fox Cities Marathon Weekend of Events, presented by Myron Construction. There'll be a safe race for every pace. Participation is limited for this year's event, so you'll want to lock in your spot soon to make sure you're celebrating at the finish line with us. Go to foxcitiesmarathon.org.
Welcome back to Paul Engen Field. Again, Kimberly up 38-7 as we look at our Festival Foods and Fox Cities Marathon scoreboard. Thanks to both of our sponsors. The folks at Festival Foods know that getting involved and doing good is part of being a good neighbor and member of the community, and they strive to be a true asset to our communities and embody the give-back spirit of Wisconsin. And the Community First Fox Cities Marathon registration now open for the 30th running of the marathon. Visit foxcitiesmarathon.org for details. I know my buddy Dwayne Dewey of the Louie and Dewey Show fame. He's listening in tonight. Hey, Dwayne, how about you running the marathon and I'll ride side by side. I'll give you some support on my bike. 26.2 miles, that's all it is.
Well, I have unofficially for Pendleton, Brett, 11 of 14 for 283 yards.
That's a good day.
And how many touchdowns did he have?
He's got 4.
4 passing touchdowns. Incredible night for Pendleton. I think I've really been impressed with him attacking. I'm sure they've seen this on film and everything, but attacking Appleton North's weak areas and getting just monster chunk plays, and really showing a lot of composure out there. I mean, he's just a junior, Brett, and he started somewhat last year. We're seeing the progression this year, and boy, in 3 or 4 months, Brett, he's going to be back and being the senior,
they're
and the top dog.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to watch. And coming into this game, we expected a very tight battle. You thought, an Appleton North team with that offense and the firepower. And right now, Kimberly flexing its muscles again, as they have all season. Those 2 interceptions turning into 14 points. They're late. You got to like the attack mode by Kimberly, and then those wide receivers. I mean, up and down the line. And then you got some running backs coming back as well next season. This is, you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself, but looking like business as usual for the paper makers. Now, what if you're Rob Salmon in Appleton North at 38-7? What do you say at the half? What do you say to these guys?
Well, you get the ball to start. Let's go out there. Let's get a good drive put together. Don't even worry about the scoreboard. Let's just take this play by play right now, because last thing you want to do is look at that scoreboard and get all demoralized. Take it play by play, win every play, and go from there. Brett, 4 catches, 125 yards. I have for Polakowski. So good day for him, good day for Pendleton, a good day in general for the Papermakers offense. And I got to say, I think Appleton North kind of shot itself in the foot, Brett. Obviously with the turnovers, the mistakes. This isn't the Appleton North offense that we're used to seeing, but how much of that is playing into the Kimberly defense? That's a very good Kimberly defense. Yes. Tommy Ellison with a couple of big interceptions, and that was just good diagnosis from him. Watching Sheckelman, he's proven himself to be quite the defensive back, Brett, coming off a very good year for the Kimberly boys basketball team. Yeah,
let's give credit where credit's due. That Kimberly defense is making it very difficult for that North offense to do anything. But again, the defense with the 2 interceptions, Ellison doing what he did to get the ball back into the hands of Caden Pendleton and that crew. But we've talked about it a couple times now in the first half. That pass to Frazier, it was about 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, heavy pressure. Credit Pendleton for getting the ball out quickly, and then Frazier for turning on the Jets, and then Cam Winnick for being, again, Johnny on the spot. It took a 17-7 game, turned it into 24-7, then back-to-back picks, 2 touchdowns later, and that's where we're at, 38-7. Hey, Rosie, can you get a good look at there he is, Dan Powers, our award-winning photojournalist there. He's going to be, he's taking pictures tonight that you can find later tonight on postcrescent.com. He'll have a great photo gallery up. Dan's one of the great guys and one of the best in the business. Ricardo, he's covered everything.
He has Super Bowls, Olympics, both winter and summer. He has done it all. You know, Brett, you were giving a shout-out to Lucky Wirtz. I want to give a shout-out to the Kimberly boys volleyball team for winning their 2nd consecutive state championship.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Seidel and company there. And then on the girls' side, Appleton North won the Division I girls championship for the first time in its program's history. So congratulations to Coach Sherrell. That led us to having both their fine senior duo. I like to call them. I don't like to call them. Coach Sherrell likes to call them Sugar and Spice. That's Brooke Bulworth.
I saw that.
Their setter and Grace Demetrician. Their fiery defensive specialists. Glad to have them on a special edition of the R&B show. Went smoothly. They were fun to talk to. Kind of got inside the mind a little bit of a state champion, Brett, and so giving them some much deserved coverage. Again, congratulations to Appleton North girls volleyball and Kimberly boys volleyball, state champs in our area.
Yeah, good stuff, and it's going to be very difficult. I was talking to our colleague Mike Sherry, and we've got some more decisions to make when it comes to the Northeast Wisconsin High School Sports Awards show. We already have our winter nominees announced. Just Google Northeast Wisconsin High School Sports Awards winter nominees, and you'll find a link to the article. And there's also a website that has all the event information. It's going to be an all-virtual event again, June 30th, so you'll be able to watch it live on any of our 10 USA Today Network Wisconsin websites, Facebook pages, our YouTube channel. That includes, of course, the Post-Crescent, postcrescent.com. But we've got some team of the year to figure out. We've got some state champs.
Is that both boys and girls teams?
No, that's one team of the year.
It's one team. Oh, okay.
So we got some decisions. We got a male athlete of the year, female athlete of the year. We're spoiled because there's never any shortage of fantastic athletes to select from. So more of that coming in the due time, and I guess in a handful of weeks we'll have our fall nominees finally solidified, because we couldn't get the fall nominees set until the alternate fall season was completed. You know, there's going to be some kids, some athletes playing right now in the spring that deserve certainly to be honored at the show. But having fun putting that together, but a lot of good state championship type teams to try to figure out here as who our team of the year will be. But hey, I know you asked the kids this on the R&B show, but you know, it wasn't a full fall season, right? So you're not really playing a full normal schedule. So does that water it down a little bit?
Well, I would say it maybe water it down a little bit if they weren't as heralded as they were coming into the season, Brett. They were ranked in the top 10 by USA Today in terms just from the sheer number of outstanding hitters. And that's actually something I brought up in a column this week. If you folks want to check that out on postcrescent.com. When I did a notes package on Appleton North, I asked Coach Bruce Moriarty, former Nina standout girls volleyball coach. He coached a championship team not too long ago, Brent, in 2016.
Yeah.
There was a 2010 Kaukauna girls volleyball team and this year's Appleton North girls volleyball team. I've seen all 3 championship teams play, Brett. Those Appleton North girls, every bit as good as those championship teams. So even though it was a fall alternative league, I have a hard time believing they wouldn't have been in the championship again, either way, against Sussex Hamilton or whoever they would have played. Because if you look at their second, the reserve players coming in could start for a lot of FEA teams. That's how deep they are. And they're all coming back.
I was going to ask you about that. They're not going anywhere, are they?
No. They were the only Grace Demetrician and their standout setter, Brooke Bulwark, were starters and seniors. The rest of the girls, juniors, sophomores, and a couple of key freshmen too, Brett. So they're going to be good for a while. At least for the next 2 or 3 years, they're going to be a state championship level team, or at least the expectations, the bar is set at that level.
Well, we get past this pandemic. It'll be nice to have the option to maybe stream a girls volleyball game again, because we had started to make that a regular occurrence in the fall season for us. So maybe get an Appleton North Kimberly matchup or an Appleton North Nina matchup or something like that, just to highlight some of the great girls volleyball. It'd be kind of actually fun to do a boys volleyball game as well. Believe it or not, this is hard. I added this up once. We are done with. We have 2 more games coming up next week, and then the week after we will be streaming playoff games in this conference. Just don't know where we'll be, and a lot depends on kind of the Fond du Lac situation. We'll talk more about that in a second. But once we complete our spring football stream, 32 games we will have streamed this season, starting back in the fall with the football season, and then the winter with the boys and girls basketball, and then now here with the alternate fall season this spring. That's a lot of games, and I got to give you and Jim Rosandick down there, Rosie, a lot of kudos. And yourself. We did it in the midst of a pandemic. We were safe. We were masked up, and we got it done. And I'm real proud of the stream team for doing that, because you can't stream a game from your living room, where you can work from your living room or your kitchen table. We have to be out there. And you could do that, but I'd have to clean up a little bit. Yeah, real proud of the guys. We did it. We were able to provide some great, I think, high school live coverage throughout the season. So that coupled with our 18 Clubhouse Live shows, that's 50 live streams between Game of the Week and Clubhouse Live, and then we'll get Varsity Roundtable going again, I would imagine, this fall, right? What's the plan?
I know. Well, we've been discussing that, Brett, and I think we have some. First off, I'm very excited about starting that up again, and we'll do it in the fall so that it's kind of a little bit more consistent. But hopefully the pandemic will have really lessened by that point, that we can have a studio audience or have the teams come in, because I think those made for the best shows, Brett. As you know, when we get the whole team up there to come cheer on those that are going to be interviewed and things like that. So we're planning on doing that once that fall season kicks off in August. And at least that's the plan anyway, and I hope it does return that way. I don't know if that show works as well as a virtual show, Brett, to tell you the truth.
Clubhouse did.
But I think, in my opinion, if for some reason we were reduced to that, having the podcast have like a weekly element with an athlete might be a better route to go in that way. So
I'm anticipating, like everybody else, that we're going to be.
I am as well. I'm not just saying that because I'm optimistic. I really think that's going to happen.
I do too. I think it has to happen at this stage. I mean, a lot of vaccinations. I know we're all fully vaccinated and ready to go. So I think as long as the numbers keep tracking as the way they are, I don't. We have to push forward at some point, don't we?
We do.
I mean,
Brett,
we'll see how it goes.
Before I forget, we got to give a shout out to Mike Frolke.
Yes.
Wrightstown girls basketball coach will be returning to the sidelines this next winter. Good to see that.
Yeah,
announced on Twitter. I'm hoping to catch up with Frolke this week for my notes package for next week, and hopefully get him. And I know that was something he was considering doing. I know he wasn't really happy with the COVID situation. He was very concerned for his health. I understand that completely. Yep. So it's not a surprise that he came back, but it is good to see that he's taken that one year off, I guess, for lack of a better way to describe it. And now he's back because I think Tigers going to have a very good team led by Leah Lemke, an all-state kind of caliber player. I think they got a shot at competing for that NEC title next season.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. Mike Krolke, one of the real good guys in the business. I was really happy to see him back, and you can't fault anybody at that situation when you're going into it when the numbers are really kind of rough here in the state of Wisconsin. To say, you know what, I gotta look out for myself and doing the right thing. So great to see him back, and Wrightstown had a great season again this last year, and we'll I'm sure pick up where they left off as they always do. The Tigers and Freedom, they've been the class of the Northeastern Conference for quite some time. And then we have another familiar face coming back on the football field in that conference, but this time at Freedom, right? We know the guy that's taking over that program again.
Good. Thank you, Brad, for segueing into that. That's Clint Krewalt. I actually caught up with him as well. Frank Mattia taking some time off, some non-football reasoning behind that. And so Clint Krewalt, the Outagamie County Sheriff, Brett.
Yeah, so be good.
So don't speed to the game. All right. He'll be taking over the Irish, and he really had a nice run there for 4 or 5 years before he had to take some time off to kind of spend more time with his kids as they were going through the middle school years. Right. But now he said he's ready to come back, and when Frank needed to take a step back, the conversation went where Frank, he talked to Clint, and Clint right away was able to, Clint was already on the staff. I remember going to do the Elite 11 with one of their players last year, and Clint was on the staff. He was helping coaching some of the players. So natural progression there. Have him back at the head spot. He was doing a lot of good things there with the Irish. No shortage of athletes there at Freedom. So good to see him back. He's one of my favorite coaches. Great to talk to. Always affable. Really good to see. Really nice to see him back on the sideline.
Much like Wrightstown, this too will be a seamless transition. Familiar face. Frank did a great job, and sorry to see him go. His teams are always fun to cover and watch. But they're not going to miss a beat. I'm sure Clint Krewalt and Freedom will be very good. Just one message to Clint, if he's watching, or if there's some Freedom folks watching. I was checking your schedule this next fall. You got 2 of your big games: the Wrightstown Freedom game, and then of course the County End game, the battle for the County End sign with Little Chute, both at Freedom. If there's a chance between now and the fall that you can upgrade your press box, please do so.
They won't,
because we'd love to be over there streaming some of those games.
They won't, Brett. That costs money, and you know what happens to money and Freedom. It's where it goes to die.
Just no space available in that press box, and I don't really think there's much as far as technology to help us out either. So if there's a chance that you can get something done this summer, please, because we'd love to be there streaming some of those Freedom Irish football games.
Hey, I want to send a shout out to Kim. She's watching from Kansas City, Brett. She's enjoying she says, hey, PC Ricardo, enjoying the live stream from Kansas City. Go Kimberly. So thank you, Kim, for tuning in to tonight's game. We appreciate you watching the live stream and all of our viewers tonight.
Well, Kim, as long as you're watching and everybody else who's watching, again, 6 months, $1. That's all it costs for a digital subscription to the Post Crescent. You can sign up right now, postcrescent.com/subscribe. 6 months unlimited digital access for $1.
So put down that Twix, put down that Suzy Q, and get yourself a subscription to the Post Crescent. You won't regret it.
$1 doesn't buy much, but it buys you 6 months of the best local news, sports, business, Packers coverage that you're going to find anywhere. So please support local journalism. And again, that goes in supporting these live stream productions that we love to do, especially if technology works, right, Ricardo?
Absolutely.
I guess a chance to run down the scoring. It looks like halftime's been extended here just a little bit. Kimberly, 4 touchdown passes. Caden Pendleton on the night, 2 to Cam Winnick, 19 yards and 29 yards. And then also Owen Polakowski on the receiving end of a 23-yarder, and then the 49-yarder right before the half. Don't forget about Cam Winnick falling on a fumble in the end zone for a score. That's 5 touchdowns, and then the field goal, a 33-yarder by Zeeble. That was how Kimberly got on the board with 7:26 to go in the first quarter. Made it 3-zip Kimberly. Appleton North's lone touchdown came with 4:20 to play in the second quarter, a 31-yard run by Cal Martini. That made it 17-7 at the time, and then it was all Kimberly from there. The highlight, a couple picks by Tommy Ellison that Kimberly was able to turn into scores. And once again, thanks to our sponsors, Festival Foods. The folks at Festival Foods know that getting involved in doing good is part of being a good neighbor and member of the community, and they strive to be a true asset to our communities and embody the give-back spirit of Wisconsin. And Community First Fox Cities Marathon, again, registration now open for the 30th running of the marathon. Visit foxcitiesmarathon.org for all the details.
Not goes without saying, big series for Appleton North if it harbors any hopes of making a rally here. You need that this first drive to give up some momentum or grab some momentum. So we'll see what Coach Salm has for his troops.
I think you're right. When it's 38-7, very tall.
You're not going to score a 30-point touchdown,
No.
so you got to take it by chunks and start it off right away with the first possession. I think this is good for Appleton North, but they gotta convert this into points.
Have you checked out any of the other conference scores?
Oh, I should
know
do that. You're
last,
right, Brett.
last check, Nina was beating Appleton West 21 zip.
Well, we kind of knew that going in. That was going to kind of be the case. Oh, okay. So Fondy's up 34-12 over Bayport at the half.
Wow, at the half. So Bayport's going to finish on a 3-game losing streak in the regular season. Now, when's the last time that's
I
happened?
can't even remember.
And then that leaves Nina or Spash and Preble, and I know Preble's really having a rough time of it this season as well. So it looks like Nina and Stevens Point might end up in a tie. And then I thought it was the first half points in the head-to-head, and I think Nina then gets that second seed, so it could be a way this is shaping out to be a Fondy Appleton North game next week and a Kimberly Stevens Point game, or Kimberly Nina game. We'll see how it goes. Second half underway. Appleton North with the football again. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Paul Engen Field on the campus of Appleton North High School. Thanks again to Nate Werner, the athletic director, Brian Durkee, Adam Hansen, the IT gurus, for really helping us out in a pinch here at the last second, and really appreciate all of their support in making sure we get done what we've got to get done, Ricardo.
First down and 10 at the 25 for Appleton North. Let's see what the Lightning can do in trying to chip away at that 38-7 deficit. Give is to Martini right up the middle. Not much there for the junior running back.
No, it looks like Reese Thayer, the senior linebacker, in on that tackle right away. Number 3 for the Papermakers. And we're going to see kind of that up-tempo offense back to the line of scrimmage quickly, see if the Shuckleman and those guys can get into a rhythm.
Shackleman. Kind of a high snap.
He's keep it.
He is.
He's got some wheels, too. And he's got some running lane on that far sideline. Nice ball fake. I think a lot of folks got sucked into thinking number 44, Cal Martini, had it. Pulls it out of Martini's gut, and that's a nice scamper for Shuckleman near midfield. All about the ball fake, and not only can he sling it, but he's got some wheels, too.
22-yard carry there for Shuckleman. And Appleton North near the midfield marker. 3 receivers set for Shuckleman with Martini in the background. In the backfield, I should say. He's back to throw again. He's looking deep.
One-on-one, and a pretty good coverage. Intended for number 10, Alex Herron, but that was Griffin Weagle, the senior. That's a good matchup between two very good players. Herron, a junior, Weagle, a senior.
Ball at the 49, just shy of the 50-yard line for Appleton North. Second down and 10. Give is to Martini, excuse me.
Thought you said he knew his dad.
I did know his dad. Sometimes I still fumble with the name. Ball 6. And that's a 5-yard gain. Brett, he probably did 4 of those yards by himself.
Yeah, pushing that pile. Such a strong running back. Again, one of the best ones definitely in the area. And boy, good gang tackling by, look at that, by the Papermakers. You saw number 3 there, Thayer, number, I think, 22, Briar Barglin might have been in on that as well. So good job, a good defense, good team defense. And if you're Appleton North, you got to go for it here.
You do.
Down 38-7.
4th down and 3, 2-yard gain for Martini.
North. Little play action. Nice little
Ooh, I don't know
pass.
if he made that.
I think he might have been. I think he's a yard shy. Looking by that far sideline where the official coming across.
It's close, though.
No, I think he's going to be shy. Let's see where they set this up. Kimberly, well, where are they going to put the ball?
Well,
And I think they're going to bring out the sticks. Okay.
Brett, did you see who that pass was to? I missed that.
I'm sorry, Ricardo, I did not. I was immediately looking at that sideline official to see where he was going to kind of spot where that ball was.
I thought it was close. I thought it was close to the first down.
I thought it was closer than what the official maybe was showing as he was walking.
Well, where's the ball? They haven't even placed the ball down yet. Am I missing that somewhere?
I think it's down on this near sideline in front of
gotcha.
the Appleton North bench. So the guys working the chains got a little bit of a run. They're going to get a little workout tonight,
Yeah,
right?
a little
Get
bit.
some steps in. And let's see. And it looks like the Papermakers are celebrating. Ball short of the line to gain. So turnover on downs. Kimberly takes over with a chance to add to its already commanding lead. Ricardo, another touchdown. We're going to have running clock.
That's shocking to me, if that is indeed the case. But very impressive tonight, Brett, in my opinion. I think they're more impressive than they were against Ashwaubenon.
Stands to reason. A program like we've seen so many years, week by week, just keep getting better and better. Of course, a lot of people putting the cart in front of the horse and want to kind of see a Kimberly-Fond du Lac matchup, but that wouldn't be for a couple weeks yet, if that even transpires. But that would be a fun game to see as Fraser now near midfield. But don't count out Appleton North if indeed the Lightning have to play Fond du Lac. I see a pretty good game with those two programs hooking up.
6-yard gain for Fraser. 2nd down and 4 from the 48 for Kimberly.
Ricardo, if Kimberly was able to put another touchdown on the board and get running clock, I would imagine from here on out you're going to start seeing some of the backups and the backups to the backups probably getting some snaps.
You see some of the quarterbacks coming in, Myron and such as Fraser showing good footwork.
Yeah, that's a first down. Good job just seeing the lane, right? Seeing where the defender is and where he isn't. He's got that ability to plant that outside foot, cut back inside, and quick. We know he's a really good track sprinter, an excellent 300 hurdler.
By the way, Brett,
Good
state
footwork.
track is going to be the first week of July. How do you like that?
Ooh.
With that elongated spring season.
You know, I think I'm going to be on vacation that week.
No, you're not.
No,
you're going to be with us.
I think I'm going to be
You're
on vacation
gonna be with
that
us.
week. According to my wife, I'm on vacay that week.
How convenient, my friend.
Is it all going to be at the same spot?
I have no idea how they're going to set it up, so we don't even know.
Yeah, I think we have to just get back into gear next season. There's direct snap. That's number 4 on the far sideline. Jackson Wilds.
Taking a big hit.
I have to think, Ricardo, that they're going to set up this year. Wouldn't
Well, if
they?
they do, I hope one of them's Oshkosh.
Well, it'd have to be, wouldn't it?
I would think so.
Lacrosse.
They certainly have the
Oshkosh,
facility for it. And that's got to be, if that's the case, that's got to be Lacrosse's worst nightmare, because if folks see, well, Oshkosh can easily do the job, having it in the central part of the state.
I don't see it ever leaving Oshkosh. That's a great
Lacrosse,
partnership.
you mean?
Or lacrosse.
I don't know.
It's a great partnership.
I've always said that I would think Oshkosh would be a logical choice to have state track because of its central location.
Yeah, and a lot better hotel options, right,
Yes.
as far as
Much
the number
better.
of hotels. That was always the trick, is Fraser pushing near the 40-yard line. That was always the stress of just trying to get one, whether you're going as a fan or as a member of the media, trying to find those hotel
that
rooms.
flurry to the, usually it's the first week of June.
And a lot of those
I've had
A lot of those teams, Ricardo, a lot of those schools, those programs, I know every year keep a block of rooms. They just move it forward with the same hotel year in and year out. So already blocks of rooms are reserved in advance. Frazier trying to get near the first down. Nope, he's going to be a couple yards shy. Ball at the 38-yard line, so 4th and 2 coming up for Kimberly.
I know I've had to stay at Sparta a few times.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a hike.
And that was always interesting.
See the clock there, counting down, 7:35 to go here in this third quarter. We're a third division where they would run track. Oshkosh and lacrosse make the sense, but do you try to do something in the central part of the state? Look at this, Kimberly racing to the line of scrimmage. There's a toss.
Falling is.
And you get Frazier with a head of steam. Nice little toss to the left side and let him kind of do his thing, get those big linemen out and running a little bit and pushing and shoving, and there's a first down. So kind of like that little change up too.
Yeah, Pendleton kind of tripped a little bit on that pitch as Frazier goes out. And Kester is in for the Papermakers. Nice drive here by Kimberly. Started at its own 42. 28 yards, but on 8 plays.
Not going to be too long, and we're also going to see number 26, Blake Berry, a sophomore running back for Kimberly. We saw him against Ashwaubenon, and he looked pretty good too. So an embarrassment of the riches, I guess, for Steve Jones when it comes to his running backs, and even he's got some good weeks ago, and Zach Kreider, number 10. I have a feeling if Kimberly puts another one on the board here, we're going to start seeing a whole bunch of those guys to finish out this game. 2nd down and 8, though, first for Kimberly. Ball at the 28-yard line. Handoff. That's Kester veering, looking for the stiff arm, and near the 20-yard line. 22-yard line, they'll mark him down. Ricardo, can you think of a central Wisconsin location for track?
Stevens Point.
Gerke,
I don't know. Capable of doing that?
I suppose. Nice turf field, and I think just trying to think of the seating situation. Much easier in terms of seating when you're breaking it down. Maybe a Point could do more of a Division III.
You know, what about St. Norbert? Could St. Norbert?
That would be a good spot, too.
Yes, I've been to St. Norbert, and they have a fine,
but could you
fine facilities.
Could you put 2 in the Fox Valley?
That's true.
Whitewater? Yeah. No, I don't know if Whitewater. Maybe. We're going to get a false start.
I think that might be offsides by Appleton North.
Yep, I think Kimberly is clapping its hands, so it's a free first down. Well, I'm sure Todd Clark and the folks at the WIA will figure it out. Hey, congratulations to, again, Steph Hauser. She will be the new executive director of the WIA. Was that begin like July, right?
Last Friday that was announced. Begins right when Dave Anderson's term ends.
Yeah, I think that was a good choice, a good decision. Looking forward to seeing Steph when we get back to normal. Oh, boy. Big hole. Good closing speed, though. That was number 20 for Appleton North.
Cutting
tripping
them down.
Leo Fisher, the junior defensive back, getting in.
Got to chop those big guys down.
Beautiful evening here. Not too cold. There's no wind at all. The flag's very still. And it looks like the forecast is going to kind of improve as the next week goes on.
I did notice that. I hope that's the case. It's supposed to be beautiful next weekend as well. Good. NFL draft next weekend as well, BC.
Yeah, beyond the first round, I don't really get into it.
I watch it all.
It's too long. NFL always has to be in the news.
How many miles will you be riding on your bike then, I guess is what the next question is.
Well, I haven't hopped on the bike since last weekend. Of course, we had the early part of the week was lousy weather. Even woke up to snow one morning. Was hoping to get a bike ride in today, just didn't have time, but my riding season is starting a little bit early, so I've already got 100 miles in this month. Was hoping to get another 100 in before we got to May, but probably going to fall short of that goal. We'll see. Why don't you join me?
3rd and 5 at the 12. I may have to do that. I have to get a capable bike, though.
A lot of good biking and trails around this part of the valley is Pendleton going to swing it. And that's number 40. He's in from 12 yards out. Ricardo, that is Isaac Decken.
I wonder if that's the younger brother of Shea Decken.
Wow.
And Brett, that was Pendleton's first pass of the second half.
5th touchdown, though, for Pendleton tonight.
Yeah, he's 12 for 15 for 295 yards unofficially. 5 scores.
How many yards was that again?
12 yards?
12. And we are going to have running clock the rest of this game as Zebo punches that PAT through. And with 3:43 to play here in this third quarter, 45-7, the Papermakers all over the Lightning tonight as we look at our Festival Foods and Community First Fox Cities Marathon scoreboard. First hookup between Pendleton and Decken tonight. Pendleton also has 2 scores to Cam Winnick and 2 others to Owen Polakowski. So 5 touchdowns on the night by the junior quarterback. And Ricardo, I'm guessing Caden's night is probably done.
Yeah, again, 12 for 15 for 295 yards unofficially, 5 touchdowns. You'd think that'd be the case, Brett.
Papermakers coming into this one, you talk about their dominance, 98-3 over their past 101 games. 98-3. That dates back to the 2013 season. That's a .970 winning percentage. Of course, Kimberly had a string of 6 straight state championship game appearances from the 2013 and 2018 seasons. Won 5 straight titles during that stretch. That was 2013 through 17 in Division II, and then the following 4 in Division I. Stretch also includes a 70-game state record winning streak. Papermakers with 7 state titles dating back to '06. They've appeared in 9 championship games.
Well, you know, Brett, when we were talking about Kimberly, you know, for the longest time, obviously they were the top program in Division I. Now they've been kind of overtaken by Muskego. They're having a nice run.
2 straight.
Yes, and but in my opinion, it's sooner or later Kimberly will be right back on top, in my opinion. That's why I was hoping that maybe we do return to normalcy in the fall, that maybe we'll see if that is indeed the case.
Well, Kimberly and Muskego played, back in 2018 for the championship. Muskego winning a close one there to snap the Papermakers' run of 5 straight titles, and then Muskego winning it again in 2019, beating Bayport in a pretty good battle as well. I forget what the winning streak is now for Muskego. Still got a ways to go to hit that 70 game mark, but yeah, that would be kind of a fun battle between Kimberly and Muskego again at some point. We'll see. See how it all shakes out here in 2021. We first got to get these alternate fall season in the books. And 2 more weeks still to go. You know, something else I wanted to bring up, Ricardo, I see the Green Bay schools, particularly East and West, having a hard time with numbers right now.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if that might be a time to combine those 2 programs maybe and make it one. I suppose then you end that great rivalry, the Green Bay East, Green Bay West rivalry, and that's, I know, very historic up in Green Bay, playing it at Old City Stadium, which is on the campus of East High School, where the Packers.
I was just going to say, the Packers used to play there.
Used to have their home games, yeah. Curly Lambeau, Don Hudson, Tony Canadeo, all those great, Johnny Blood McNally, all those great names played on that field.
Why can't I have a nickname like that?
But you kind of think, you know, because what is it, West or East has had a couple pauses now because of numbers, and you think of like a team like Menasha, who's got to play an independent schedule, as Martini now across midfield. If you kind of, hindsight being what it is, then maybe Menasha would have been better in this league instead of that independent schedule. As you look at tonight's schedule, and see if I got it right here. Green Bay West at Pulaski was canceled tonight just because of low numbers for the Wildcats. thing of it is, both are real nice schools. I don't know if you've ever been to the gyms in
I have
either.
not.
I've been to both gyms. Very nice setups, very nice schools, excellent people. We live streamed, Rosie and I, for the Bayport Kimberly girls sectional final was at Green Bay West back in 2020, right before everything got shut down. Beautiful old gym, nice setup. They ran a real nice sectional, and we had great internet hookup there. So nice little balcony overlooking the court. So very nice facilities.
Second down and 9. Big tackle by number 47, Stepanski for Kimberly.
Yeah, good-looking junior linebacker for the Papermakers. 6 feet, 200 pounds. See if Appleton North can get one more snap off before we switch sides and take it to these final 12 minutes.
Time's nearing the end of the third quarter here, BC. And that's how the quarter will end.
Well, again, folks, thanks for sticking with us here at Paul Engen Field. 45-7, Kimberly incomplete. This one as we look at our festival foods and Community First Fox Cities Marathon scoreboard again. We will be streaming a game next week. Just don't know quite the particulars. Primarily the site. Got to see how things shake out when it comes to that. But just follow me on Twitter at PCBrettsy. I'll make an announcement early next week where we will be, and looking forward to taking it the rest of the way. 2 fun playoff games, and we're going to concentrate on the groups A and B here in the Fox Valley Classic Football Conference standings. So it's going to be Fond du Lac in Group A is going to win that one, and of course Kimberly is going to win Group B. Appleton North will finish second in Group B. Just waiting to see who finishes second in Group A. That should be a nice 4-team playoff pod. And again, folks, don't forget about that digital subscription to the Post Crescent. 6 months, $1. Go to postcrescent.com/subscribe.
$1.
You know what I can get for $1? A bottle of drinking water.
That is
sometimes.
True. Third down and 3, it looks like, for Appleton North.
Sometimes those bottles of water are $2 these days.
Should never be that much. It's water.
Little play action. Shuckleman's got time. Going to go downfield and knocked away. Good defense.
Shuckman that time, he didn't lead his receiver enough.
Brennan Budiak, junior defensive back, doing a good job on coverage against Alex Herron.
2 receiver route that time, but brings up a 4th and 7 for Appleton North. Some good things from Shackelman. Obviously, he's still developing as well. Very talented junior. Both he and Pendleton, they'll be airing it out next year as well, Brett.
And they're only going to get better. I mean, they're already outstanding talent. Little screen coming back, and good job by the Papermakers.
Good play call, but that was just really sniffed out.
Brady McConnell, the senior defensive back, all over that, and another turnover in downs, and Kimberly will take over at the 42-yard line. Yeah, this North team's not going anywhere either. Just kind of one of those things where it was a snowball type effect and things just got out of hand and momentum and all that sort of thing. But they'll regroup, and they'll be heard from again. They're one of the premier programs here in
We have a new quarterback, Brett.
this area.
Zach Kreider, senior quarterback for Kimberly.
Yeah, getting a couple snaps here tonight. That's number 8 on the carry, Colin Oberman.
Really, we saw all 3 of them against Ashwaubenon, along with Pendleton, I should say. Look out, Oberman able to elude some traffic down there. No gain on that carry. See what the Papermakers have in store for this 3rd down and 6 situation. Yeah, the spring season, Brett, is underway. So we have baseball teams practicing the kind of stuff, track teams. And once this football season is over in a few weeks, it'll be full on to spring mode.
3rd down coming up for Kimberly, handoff. And he will be shy. Trying to see who got that. Was that that was Oberman again, Ricardo, so 4th down. Yeah, it was odd when we got here today, me and Rosie. Noticed there was some baseball practice going on. And that's a weird feeling, too. We're going to stream a high school football game, but you're seeing baseball practice at the same time.
You know, both these baseball teams, Appleton North and Kimberly, very good.
Mm-hmm.
They've had a lot of success.
I just saw the top 5 rankings. I think that was on Wiz Sports, and I see Bayport is in there. But
West Appears also very good for baseball. You're talking about?
Yeah, baseball. I think Division I though.
Okay, Division I. Okay.
Looked like there's a good return here for the Lightning far sideline. Can't make out a number across the way, but yeah, I think Sun Prairie was number 1 in Division I, and then I saw Bayport was in that top 5 grouping as well. I was looking for these 2 teams, Kimberly and Appleton North. They got to be knocking on the door as well.
Oh, they have to be. Kimberly has a couple of guys. I know McGinnis is going to Bradley. So they have some guys heading to play at the next level. And Appleton North is always a strong program traditionally.
Well, it's going to be very interesting with these spring teams, these spring programs. They haven't done anything since 2019. How long is it going to take to kind of knock off the rust, get cobwebs out of the way, and kind of get back into it? Even for the coaching staffs, it's been a while.
But the excitement level has to be off through the charts to get back on the diamond.
Yeah, they were the folks, the spring sports, coaches, athletes, teams, and they were the ones that kind of took it on the chin last year because everything shut down. There were no spring sports in the state of Wisconsin. So and now you're kind of getting pushed back a little bit here, but at least they're going to be playing something. Nice pass to number 17 across the way. Looks like Eli Patzer, the senior tight end for Appleton North. Thinking about that, though, I have sons that were spring sports participants, track participants, and my youngest graduated in 2019. And my wife and I talk about that sometimes. Boy, if he'd have been born a year later, boy, his senior year would have been
erased.
Erased, and I know both really loved track, and you just feel for these kids, especially those seniors that just didn't get a chance to finish it out. Some of them who had big hopes for a senior season, whether it was softball or baseball or tennis, golf, track, it doesn't matter. So good to see the spring sports slowly returning again, and let's hope Mother Nature continues to do good things for those athletes. They deserve it. Midway point of this final quarter, running clock since midway through the third quarter after that 12-yard pass from Caden Pendleton to Deckant. Actually, that was at 3:43 to play in the third quarter. We've had running clock since then, 45-7 lead for the Papermakers. And good job across the way. That was number 4 knocking it away, Jackson Wilds. Tell the folks out there, Ricardo, how they can kind of access some of the coverage from this game in your weekly column, right?
I will be. Well, first off, I'll have a little roundup for the Friday roundup of all the games that are going on. You can check that on postcrescent.com. And I will talk to both coaches, and I'm going to guess I'll be talking to both Pendleton. Maybe I'll talk to Tommy Ellison, too. He had a couple of big interceptions. And then there'll be more follow-up coverage in the week in my notes package as I kind of highlight this game. And as we move into the postseason, the 2-game postseason for some of our area teams. So they can check that out later in the week. But right away online tonight I'll have a video that kind of recaps all the action around in the area. It's called Rewind, the Prep Football Rewind, so they can check for that on postcrescent.com.
Fantastic. Again, that's what you get, 6 months, $1.
every week.
And that's just the sports stuff. That's the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the sports stuff. Got a whole bunch of great news side reporters, a new business reporter at the Post-Crescent, Brad Starr, off and running, doing
I like
a great
Brad
job.
Starr,
Yeah,
good kid.
Very good kid. So Dan Higgins, our food and drink reporter, he's had some fun stuff out there.
He's got a good job there.
He and Rosie, eating and drinking.
Yeah, that's a pretty good job.
He and Rosie are doing a
I
fun
saw
little
that.
show now. So check that out weekly on Facebook.com/PostCrescent.
I'll tell you what. Higgins might have the one job that I envy at the PC. I really like my job, but that's great to do what he does.
Charlie Hardy on the carry for Appleton North. Yeah, but
Rosie, you get to eat any of that stuff or no? Maybe not during the pandemic though. Yeah, okay. But I think Rosie will be getting his mitts on some of that food that Higgins is eating too, perhaps.
Got some good entertainment reporting going on, so it's the whole gamut. 6 months, $1. Postcrescent.com/subscribe.
Hardy again up the middle. I'll tell you what, Brett, a story Kendra Miner did on Callahan Skogman.
Yes.
The Seymour standout basketball player who now is on Netflix Flesh and Bone. Great story, and I'm so glad he got that coverage. And I have to admit, I actually knew I was actually going to do a story last January before the pandemic, but I wanted to wait till Netflix had it all secured and it was going to debut, and then I waited too long, and Kendra got in there.
Yeah.
She scooped me on that, but hey, she did a great job on it, no doubt about it. She did great work on that. I was so happy for Callahan. I'm hoping, and I got my fingers crossed, that's going to be a big time show because the fantasy genre is really big, Brett, with Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, that kind of stuff. This
Harry
fits
Potter.
right into their Harry Potter.
Yeah, I think that's a great gig for Callahan. I think that could be a career maker for him.
Well, that's certainly a possibility because you see that a lot in the Game of Thrones. They had certain actors became big stars, and that was their first kind of big role.
Yeah, that could be.
How great would that be to see Callahan Skogman rubbing elbows with all the that'd be great. Hollywood elite, good kid
at the Oscars or the Emmys or something.
I interviewed him playing a great kid. Great guy.
It's interesting how he kind of said, you know what, when he was playing ball in college, that this isn't, my dream is there's a touchdown by Hardy, 7-yard score. Finish that thought on Callahan Skogman in a second, but a 7-yard score by Charlie Hardy. See what Appleton North wants to do for the point after. Looks like they're going to kick the PAT. PAT is good. That was, again, number 29, Brady Frontel with the point after. 1:58 to play here in the fourth quarter. 45-14 now. Kimberly with the lead, about to put this one away. Scoreboard sponsored by Festival Foods and the Community First Fox Cities Marathon. Again, thanks to those folks for their support of high school sports here in the Fox Cities. But I wanted to say with Skogman to finish that thought, kind of a very interested in the fact that, he's an athlete, big-time athlete, 1,000-point score at Seymour, went to play ball at lacrosse, I believe, then kind of said midway through, you know what, this isn't what I want to do anymore. I have a passion for acting, and some guys wouldn't do that. They would kind of say, well, I'm an athlete, that's what I'm supposed to do. And he said, no, I want to chase my dream, and acting is his dream, and now look at him. So good for him. I couldn't believe like when he graduated. I was like, has it been that long already? Was he after?
No, he teamed with Rombach.
Okay, so that was after the Oski and Cohen. No,
that was before.
They before Oski and Cohen?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And, at least 10 years ago, Brett. And they were the team that I think they lost on the last second shot. I'll have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure that there was a final, like a game that was going to go to overtime, and they fell like on a last-second layup. What's going on here? I didn't hear whistles blown.
That's number 5, Ty Lawton, Hey, you run till you hear the whistle, right?
Yeah, but was Rombeck also a 1,000-point scorer? What a
well, there's so
heck
many,
of a
so many good ones
punch, yeah.
that have come through there.
Seymour has produced some top-level talent, no doubt.
Now, just recently, Mason Dorn, one of our top 12 boys basketball player of the year nominees for the Northeast Wisconsin High School Sports Awards show. It was fun watching Mason Dorn play basketball. He looked like that guy that just kind of lull you, and then he strikes, you know.
Absolutely.
That young face.
Yeah.
You kind of see, this kid, I can handle this
He's
kid,
a
and
good
next thing you know, he's got 35 points.
Shooting the lights out.
Victory formation for the Papermakers here. Let's take a couple knees and let this one come to a close. Zach Kreider going to finish it out at quarterback. Ricardo, the clock runs under a minute. Your thoughts?
Well, both are going to the playoffs. Now, look, this was not a good game from Appleton North. Things went south mighty quick after they had that Martini touchdown run that got up to 17-7. This is a team that I'm sure, when I talked to Rob Sumner, we got to play better than this. We have 2 more games. Let's leave it all out in the field. Let's play better. Let's limit the mistakes and show everyone what Appleton North football is about, because they got the roster to really do a lot of good things. Kimberly. Boy,
I guess that defense is pretty good still, isn't it?
In 2 weeks, I really want to see Kimberly Fond du Lac. Let's hope that is the case. We don't know how that's going to pan out, but that would be the game of the year, Brett, in terms of the spring alternative season here. Because this is a team right here that has few flaws. Mm-hmm. They can really hurt you from anywhere. The defense is very stout. Deep in the defensive backs, Brett. We don't talk enough about those D-backs. They're very, very good.
D-backs, D-line, linebackers at all levels. That defense. That was kind of the question. It's like, okay, again, this high-powered offense of Appleton North. Kimberly answered the bell.
They did.
And those 2 interceptions by Tommy Ellison led to touchdowns. That's a tough deal. You got the depth and the talent at all 3 phases: offense, defense, and special teams.
Well, I want to head down there, Brett, get some
we got
comments. But yeah, we did. We got through it, and we didn't have any issues there after the second half. Is that correct?
Even the second quarter, all the way through.
Yeah, so good. So thank you to the IT folks here.
And thanks to the folks who continue to watch. I'm sure there were some people blasting us on Facebook
Maybe
in that
they
first
were.
quarter, but, relax. We're working on it.
All right, Brett, you and Rosie have a great weekend then. We'll see it. We'll do it back here again.
We'll do it again next week.
Thanks.
Let me run down the scoring before we sign off on the evening. Kimberly got on the scoreboard first, 7:26 to play in the opening quarter. A 33-yard field goal by Cam Zeeble made it 3-0. Then Kimberly added to that lead, a 19-yard pass from Caden Pendleton to number 14, Cam Winnick. That came with 3:13 remaining in the first quarter. Kimberly up quick, 10-0. Second quarter, Kimberly strikes first with 6:04 to play. Pendleton, this time a 23-yard hookup to number 11, Owen Polakowski, and the PAT was good, and Kimberly on top, 17-0. Appleton North finally gets on the scoreboard a couple minutes later with 4:20 to play in the second quarter on a 33-yard run by number 44, Cal Martini, made it 17-7, and then the big sequence. 3rd and long, Pendleton hits Caleb Frazier on a 72-yard pass. Frazier fumbles at about the 5-yard line. That was a 72-yard hookup, as I said, but then Cam Winnick fell on the loose ball in the end zone, so fumble recovery for a score with 2:30 to play. That made it 24-7. And then after a Tommy Ellison interception, Pendleton to Winnick from 29 yards out with just 58.3 seconds to play in the second quarter, and that's how check that. That made it 31-7, and then another interception led to a Pendleton to Polakowski hookup, 49 yards out with 12.4 seconds to play in the second quarter, and that is how the first half came to a close. 38-7, Kimberly with the halftime lead. Kimberly adds to its commanding lead in the third quarter with 3:43 to play. Pendleton, his 5th touchdown pass of the night, a 12-yard score to number 40, Isaac Deckent. Made it 45-7, and then it was running clock the rest of the way. Finally, Appleton North closes out the scoring. Just under 2 minutes to go, 1:58 to play, specifically on a 7-yard run by number 16, Charlie Hardy. 45-14, that's how this one ends here at Paul Engen Field with the victory. Kimberly finishes the regular season 5-0 in the FBCFC Group B division. Appleton North falls to 4-1. We'll figure out the playoff pairings tonight, but it looks like it'll be Appleton North taking on Fond du Lac, the champion in Group A. Site to be determined. Again, Fond du Lac has not been playing home games this season because Fruth Field doesn't have turf. Kind of a wet wetlands area down there by old Goodrich High School. So a couple of Fond du Lac games, home games, have been at Kiel High School. But we'll see where Fondy and Appleton North, where that game will be played, and who Kimberly will be hosting. Will it be Neenah? Will it be Spash? We'll find out here in due time. But again, we will be streaming one of those two games, and I'll announce it on my Facebook or on my Twitter account at PCBrettC. So give me a follow, and don't forget you can access our previous Game of the Week live streams on our USA Today Network Wisconsin websites. Just go to the sports section, scroll down until you see the Watch Our Varsity Game of the Week Prep live streams link. Once again, a final thank you to our sponsors. First Festival Foods, the folks over there know that getting involved in doing good is part of being a good neighbor and a member of the community, and they strive to be a true asset to our communities and embody the give-back spirit of Wisconsin. And don't forget, registration now open for the 30th running of the Community First Fox Cities Marathon. Visit foxcitiesmarathon.org for details. Again, thanks to Festival Foods and Community First Fox Cities Marathon for their support of us and local high school sports coverage. So for Rosie and Ricardo and the crew with USA Today Network Wisconsin, I'm Brett Christopherson saying so long from Paul Engen Field here on the campus of Appleton North High School. Once again, the final score tonight, Kimberly 45, Appleton North 14. Thanks for watching, everybody.